Hello and welcome to another episode of Stardew Valley here on Not Your Profession Walkthroughs channel with me, your host Max. Well, I haven't posted a video for this game in a while, and same goes for Graveyard Keeper. And boy do I have a story for you guys. And as you see, something is definitely different about the farm. Well, while I'll be watering the crops, I will tell you the story about how my old external hard drive, where I stored all the footage for both the titles, kind of died on me. Therefore, I was unfortunately unable to save the footage, and also I was kind of therefore forced to, start the game a bit over just so that I can provide additional content for the game. The same will go for Graveyard Keeper, and unfortunately it might take me a little longer to get there. So the story behind the external hard drive is pretty simple. While I used to work in one company, I had a colleague of mine who recommended to me to purchase an external hard drive since my 2TB hard drive was being filled up way too quickly and I wasn't able to basically keep storing additional items on my computer. Therefore, as he has a really lovely thing going on with his wife, they usually watch a ton of series. So, since he's European, obviously same goes for me, we are old school, and old school people who especially remember software like LimeWire and other terrible stuff, he tends to download basically series from the internet and then watch it with his wife. And he saw a sale for one of the external hard disks which he wanted to get, and he recommended it to me. So the unfortunate thing is that after 6 years, my old hard disk has died on me. Thankfully, I've been noticing that it's been somewhat buggy lately, therefore I purchased a new one and I was able to move most of the files from one disk onto the another. But the footage was the last thing which I was supposed to move, and well, unfortunately, stuff happened. So I do realize that basically the farm looks a bit different, but the overall goal is still the same. I wasn't that far ahead in the game, so I made it to the 18th day as we left off in the 17th in the last episode on the channel, and I will therefore try to continue towards getting the goals which are set for this walkthrough. Specifically, we will be doing the community center, and who knows, if there will be ever the demand, I would definitely love to try to do one where I would utilize the Joja Corp in order to fix the greenhouse, as doing the community bundles can take you actually quite a while to unlock it. And if you do not have your greenhouse for the first winter, well, it's kind of an issue getting started farming with the seasoned forageable items which you can actually grow and harvest during the season. But more on that later. Obviously, as I'm talking non-stop, I have finally finished almost completely with watering of my crops. Now, I do not have the same things delivered to the community center as I had in the previous save, but I at least have some items ready, and we will therefore be able to continue with the community center, and I will try to utilize the season as much as possible, as like I said in one of the previous seasons or episodes on the channel, if you get decent amount of blueberry crops, you can get really nice harvests. In one of the Graveyard Keeper episodes, I actually showed you one of my really old files where I used to play the game, and I was able to get into, I think it was like year 3 or something. At that time, I usually stopped playing the save file because I usually have all the tools upgraded, and there is nothing that much more that I really want to achieve, as I'm not much of a marriage kind of guy, especially in this game, and therefore I'm not sure if in this walkthrough I will manage to get a spouse. It would definitely be amazing if I can finally manage to pull that off, since I so far have not been able to. But we will see how it goes. Now, the fun thing throughout the experience which I learned is that certain days, for example, are really hard to manage to get some project done. For example, when we start the game and you press F on your computer, raising animals is one of the first quests which you are given. So building a coop. Now, in order to build a coop, I will probably leave like some description from the wiki page around this text, so you know what kind of resources you need, because I don't know them from the back of my head. Anyhow, if you want to do something on Monday, you can forget it. Usually the ladies go for grocery shopping to Pierre's store. On Tuesday, they all have the fitness class. So the fun thing is actually that on Wednesday, when Pierre's is closed, you can go to Robin's and start building of a coop or barn or silo. I usually recommend building silo before you build a coop, because if you do not have sufficient land outside with patches of grass, then you will have quite an issue feeding your chickens. And if you don't feed your chickens, their friendship is not gonna increase, and if you don't have sufficient in level with them, they will be providing you with subpar produce. Well, produce is the bad word for this. We are talking animal products here, because obviously the chickens will not be able to grow anything on your farm. They will provide you with eggs and stuff like that. So, I have at least loaded up a bunch of the geodes which I was able to obtain in the mines, and we will try to get them processed. We got some rare ones, we got some lesser rare ones, but hopefully something in these geodes will be rare enough for us to turn decent profit or possibly obtain more ore. Now, I do have to admit that I did the episode about me complaining about the strawberries. Ooh, 5 iron ore, that's really good. That's 1 ingot. And basically, I managed to fix that, so if you were able to see in the trunk, I already had 10 more strawberry seeds prepared, and 20 were planted on the farm. Therefore, I should have sufficient amount of harvest ready just from the strawberries alone. I'm utilizing the salmon berries as my main source of energy right now. I obviously do not have the third row of the backpack unlocked as of yet, Most of these minerals, at least the ones which are not duplicate, will be turned to the museum as we will start unlocking some achievements from it. So let's see if we can store in some of these and potentially get a reward. Because, yes, it's not the most efficient way to spend money, since each geode costs you money to break open, but the minerals which you obtain and are duplicate or you have already provided to the museum, if you're at least not going for the completionist walkthrough where you would put away or deliver all the items, and some of them, boy, have like 0.00% chance to get spawned, well, then you can just keep selling these if you are tired of, let's say, fishing. So you should have always a decent source of income when it comes to that. So, yeah. We have still, I believe, the last day of the salmonberry season. So I'm gonna definitely try to go purchase few more seeds, and afterwards we will run around like a bunch of crazy people trying to... Oh, come on, I didn't want to do that. So yeah, I'm gonna be running around the forest a lot. It's potentially possible I might speed up some of the footage just for the hell of it. Cause, let's face it, some of the days which I've done in this walkthrough, God, I hate that bush specifically because it keeps dropping all the berries into the water. So yeah, some of the days after I met Willie, I just spent fishing. One day I even managed to catch both the eel and the catfish, which are like the hardest fish to get caught, with the bamboo rod in the start of the game. Because you cannot utilize any bait or anything, it's basically super hard to catch them. And what you can also see over here is that I have installed some tappers. Now the tappers are important later on in the game due to crafting. For example, if we take the oak resin, we utilize this in order to make the barrels which craft us wine. Now, if you would, for example, be interested in having relationship with one of the girls in town, her favorite gift is wine. It doesn't matter what kind, but it takes you around 7 days to make the wine. So you really need to make sure who will you try to befriend in your walkthrough. So Haley is the best possible option for you in spring because daffodils keep growing all over the place, and Haley has also birthday. I believe it's on the 14th of spring. So if you give her a daffodil on her birthday, her friendship will start increasing, and basically you can potentially have a partner for the dance festival. I honestly have never managed to pull this off, but it can be done. If you wanna do or befriend any of the other girls, it might be harder. Some of them might prefer, let's say, the minerals from the mines, and we all know how that goes. You need to go there, you need to spend lots of resources, lots of energy, and the possibility that you will come across the right mineral is never guaranteed. Even if you go into a level where you think said mineral might spawn, once again, your luck will depend from the luck for said day. I honestly don't even remember what's the luck for today, But because we will be doing more farming and running around, well, I actually see that my backpack is full, but we are collecting the salmon berries because after the 18th, we will no longer be able to gather them. And as your foraging keeps upgrading, you are actually able to grab 2 berries from a bush instead of 1. And then later on, if you have the level 10 foraging skill, you can actually be collecting only iridium quality items. So yeah, Leah is the lady that likes to get wine as the gifts. So as I said, grabbing a flower which can spawn during the season, and trust me, the game is set up so that you will at least once run into said flower. And if you're not having luck, you can collect the remaining items from the season and make the seasonal bundle. So let's say wild seeds for spring, right? We have horseradish, we have the daffodil, leek, and dandelion. Daffodils are for Haley, but if you get 4, basically 1 of each, you will be able to obtain 10 seeds. So you can basically well, not just double, you will get even more. And you can then keep expanding and expanding. So let's say you utilize your spring and you will have, let's say by the end, like 40 daffodils or something. So even during the whole of summer, you can keep giving her 2 flowers a week to constantly keep improving your overall friendship. This will greatly help you get some benefits, as obviously once you start receiving friendship points, you will start unlocking recipes or specialized crafting materials or recipes, so you will be actually able to craft items which usually you will not be able to without the friendship points. So the game will still kind of try to direct you in order to make friends in town, even though there are some things which I still think could have been thought of. Like, for example, a big spoiler is, and I'm not gonna name names because I obviously do not remember them. I mean, come on, I'm terrible with names. Anyhow, if you get the community center completed, some of the residents will no longer be able to work in the Joja Mart. The fun thing is that the developer, despite it being one guy, could have made an opportunity so that you would be able to hire these people. Because by the time when you are usually able to finish the community center, especially due to difficulty with certain of the collectible items which are really hard to get, having additional help, even if you would not be relying on sprinklers, let's say, they would be able to harvest or, let's say, water the crops for you. That would be just amazing. I'm not sure if there is a mod for this, but I usually play the games vanilla, and I don't think this game specifically requires that many mods in order to improve the quality of life, let's say. There is plenty of content for you to do, and we are still in our first season, and we will keep trying to basically improve the farm. I should have the original layout which I wanted to plan for this walkthrough, so I will definitely try to achieve it with you guys here on the channel. But yeah, I hope you guys liked the episode after so many Darkest Dungeons were released, but fortunately for me, once I started recording the Darkest Dungeon, I already had the new hard disk, So I was able to store the footage there directly, so I didn't have the issue with the previous titles. I'm also considering working on a special project for Stardew Valley once again here on the channel. Last one with the strawberries was really fun, so who knows? It might work, it might completely fail, I don't know yet. It's something which I was told about by my colleague at work, so I'm definitely interested if this thing actually works or not. But you will have to subscribe, click like, and tune into the next episode in order to find out what the hell am I just talking about. But yeah, that would be it. Thursday, day 18 of spring, year 1, here on Not Your Professional Walkthroughs, with me, your host Max, wishing you all the best, hoping you will tune in for the next episode, and if not, well, I hope you will find at least a channel which will provide sufficient amount of content and entertainment for you. But I will see that based on the comments and views. So, like I said, all the best from the farm. Teddy, say bye bye, and we will see you on the next one. Bye, guys. Oh, yeah, one more thing. If we're gonna break a bank here, like, I mean, obviously the cauliflower or the potato, which is like super awesome. It was my first harvest of the cauliflower. I'm gonna keep some of the gold stars cauliflowers, not because of the quality bundle in the community center, but because of something which will come up later on in the game, which I definitely do not want to spoil in case you did not play the game yet, and I definitely recommend you getting this title. It will greatly help the developer as I do believe he is currently working on another title, and I'm super seriously looking forward to it as well. So yeah, see you next time, guys.